Yo, 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 what is up, my fallopian tuber? Cesario from the barrio coming back at you with another video for your butt. I'm gonna open a couple of packs that I got for Christmas. This one from 4-Leaf, and this one I believe from Don's Field of Dreams. Prospect Parallel card. Somehow that doesn't excite me. It's a trip how much the hobby has changed, like me growing up, I collected baseball cards because I love baseball. Like baseball, the game, playing it, watching it was the true core and basis of why I collected baseball cards. Now it's a trip how many people don't even watch baseball but collect cards. It's just a total change. It is what it is. Can't complain. But like now prospecting is like people are in love with people they've never even seen play just by what they see on paper. And to me it's like, yeah, they're prospects. These guys are all good, but we don't know what they're going to be at the next level. Check out this Pete Alonso rookie. So shiny. This is a sweet one. Nice. Ooh, Kyle Tucker. That mother trucker. Nice one there. Jordan Croissantwich. And we got a numbered card of Chance Adams. 10 out of 250. 250. Right, we got Colby Allard, Javier Baez, Derek Rodriguez, and Edwin Diaz. But yeah, the hobby has changed, and it's going to keep changing. It'll always change. We go through phases. We just got through so many phases in the last couple of years. It's pretty insane. Ken Griff. Like I assume like that most people who are in the hobby right now, they're mostly just, all they talk about is value. You know what I mean? And so I think they assume, like, say, like if they always wish they were collecting earlier. I think they assume like if they were collecting in 2011, like they would know Mike Trout was going to be as good as he is. No, if you were a grifter in 2011, you were not buying Trouts. If you were a grifter in 1999, you weren't buying Ken Griffey Jr.'s. You were buying, Greg Jeffries. You're buying other people. But I just think these people assume like Mike Trout right off the bat was going to be a known Hall of Famer. Ken Griffey Jr. right off the bat was going to be a known Hall of Famer. Oh, check it out. This is how they come. One of these things. Cool. I was wondering why it was so big. That's what she said about my butthole. And check that out. Tell me these aren't sweet. Head to head. I have a couple of these. I don't know how many there are in the checklist. But Ken Griffey Jr. The 89 Upper Deck Ken Griffey Jr. One of the most expensive cards. Let me see if I have it somewhere. Let me pull it out. Okay, found this one in my box. I got this one for $10 because it says it has a crease, but I bought it for the spine of my baseball binder, so that's where this is supposed to be going. But man, check it out. This is my Ken Griffey Jr. box. There is nothing but Ken Griffey Jr. cards in there, so I really need to count them. Get my official count for base Card Family for Life Collectors Unite Super Collectors Group. But anyways, where's that card? What I do with the Griffey? Oh, it's right here. Duh. Let's talk about this Griffey. All right. I had this card in a 9 right before the pandemic, and at the time a PSA 10 was going for about 110, 20 bucks, like 120 bucks on average. My card shop had it, And I told him, and I didn't have any money at the time, enough money, and I told him, hey, I'm gonna come back for that when I get paid. I get paid. I told him on Thursday, so I'll be back like Saturday or something like that. And he was like, cool, it'll be here. And then you know what happened? COVID, shut down. All right. And so I was like, oh, I guess I'll just have to wait till it's over. It opens up, and I'll go buy that slab from him, a 10. So I ended up giving away my 9 during that time. My PSA 9 Ken Griffey Jr. I had a little giveaway during the day. I went live. I was playing games. I think I was playing the slot machine, and one of the guys actually who was at my work was watching me, and he actually won. So I gave it to him. At the time it was like a $60, $80 card, and I was thinking, I was gonna replace it. Like, I don't need doubles. I'll accept them, gladly accept them. I'll take them, but I don't need them. You know what I mean? So I was like, oh, I'm gonna buy that 10. So I'm gonna give away this 9. I gave it away. Then during the pandemic, it rose and it rose and it rose and it rose to the point where, like, okay, now that's just too freaking much. Like, and I don't know if I'll ever have this card in a PSA slab anymore. And I just kind of, like, I'm not into PSA, I'm not into grading, but there are just certain cards that I think it's cool. You know what I mean? To have them in a PSA 10, because they're obtainable, they're not that expensive. So to me, when this was like, I always thought a PSA 10 for 150 is cool. And now they've gone, 300, 400, whatever they're up to now. And it's just like, it's not worth it. You know what I mean? Now I know exactly, like, I used to watch, the collectors like John Mangini, Blue Jacket 66. I see all these, collectors of vintage who've been collecting vintage forever. And they always have said that the 52 Mickey Mantle was overpriced. Always, they said that's why they didn't have one. Because they always said no matter what price they seen, even back then when it was cheaper, they said it was overpriced. And now it's like completely, overpriced, I guess, almost, out of almost any of us our range. So, and I never understood that until now, Now it's like, okay, that card is cool, but it's overpriced, for so many reasons. For so many reasons. This is like one of the most produced cards ever, in the history of planet Earth. So it's not rare at all. So that's one of the reasons. And for people who don't understand, like, why people say it was so overprinted, I mean, not only was it just overproduced by itself, but people at the upper deck, workers at the print shop, they were printing these, like, okay, you see, oh man, what a stupid ass thing. You see what a sheet of baseball cards look like. Okay, this is an uncut sheet. They just haven't been cut yet, and that's how your baseball cards are made, and then they cut them. Well, workers that worked that upper deck were printing uncut sheets of pure Ken Griffey Juniors. All right, so imagine that these guys were printing Ken Griffey Jr. uncut sheets, just nothing but Ken Griffey Jr. cards. And so that even added to the, so we'll never know exactly how many cards were out there. Okay, and one of the reasons to me this is a special card was because this is basically the first ever Photoshop card. All right, Photoshop came out the next year, but this was like the prototype of photoshopping. All right, Ken Griffey Jr. is not wearing a Seattle Mariners uniform. He was wearing a Riverside uniform. He was playing baseball right here down the street from me, well, down the freeway from me in Riverside. He never played in the majors when this picture was taken. He was not wearing a Seattle Mariners hat. He was in the minor leagues. He was in his minor league uniform. And this was the first, like, prototype version of Photoshop that they did this with. Before 88, 89, you go to any 88 cards, some 89 cards and tops, they were still airbrushed. All right. So there's so many reasons why this card is like special. Like, it was the first Photoshop card. Photoshop, the app itself, whatever you want to call it, came out the next year. This was like the prototype. So this is the first card that was ever like used doing that technology. Before that, they were airbrushing everything. You know? So little things like that is like, this card has a big story to it. A lot of stuff. And that's what makes a card special to me. Alright, and I don't know. I guess that's all I gotta say about that. I'm just blabbing baseball cards here. But I should probably make that I think I will make that effort to try to get this card in the PSA 10. But yeah, that's I think all I gotta say about this card. So love the hobby, people. And thanks for listening to me babble about baseball cards. Love the hobby, people. Just keep collecting baseball cards forever, I say. Lumpy, you just gonna barge in here, Lumpy?